New at 5, testing reveals toxic heavy metals inside food we're feeding our babies. A topic the I-Team knows a lot about. Consumer investigator Kristen Byrne is here with results from a new study.
Doctors tell us the food a baby eats is so critical for development. And this national investigation found 95% of baby foods tested contain toxic chemicals, specifically heavy metals that can damage a baby's brain. An organization called Healthy Babies, Bright Futures is behind this research. The group tested 168 baby foods from major manufacturers in the United States. They found 95% contained lead, 73% arsenic, 75% cadmium, and 32% mercury. The research found the most toxic products were rice-based food items, sweet potatoes, and fruit juices. 2 years ago, the I-Team traveled to a lab in Colorado and interviewed a company testing 700 baby food products for toxins. And researchers told us back then that 35% of formula samples tested positive for some level of lead. Now, in this latest study, it does acknowledge that these metals are naturally occurring in soil and water. So if you're wondering what is safe for your baby to eat, researchers did give safer alternatives in this study, foods like frozen bananas or drinks like milk or water. A spokesperson for the FDA told me also that it actively monitors the levels of arsenic, lead, and more in foods, and that this study underscores its work in this field. I'm consumer investigator Kristen Byrne.
Peace, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of 100% Juice Podcast, and I'm your host, H-Rap Bay. People, I just played a clip before the show. Today's topic, one of today's topics is going to be about poisonous baby food. We got lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury in our baby's food in America, and that's an issue. No one's talking about this on a higher level, which they should. We have babies born every day, and people who have to feed this to their kids who have no choice. Why are we feeding our babies lead, people? Lead. Causing major effects of the nervous system, causing cancer. This is probably one of the problems why we have ADHD, because it's being lead placed in our food, in the baby's food. Like, what is the FDA doing about this? The FDA, they not doing anything. They ain't doing shit. Why is Walmart allowed to sell poisonous baby food? Why is Gerber allowed to sell poisonous baby food? Happy Baby, Earth's Best, Campbell Soup, Sprouts Organic. They all failed the test. Because people, what they're doing, they're just testing the main ingredients that they put in there. If they put a little cinnamon, or they put a little blueberry, or put a little, some type of extract in there. They're testing these things, but they're not testing the final products, which the lead and the arsenic and different things and the mercury that's in this baby food. So you're going to the store, go shopping and go pick up what you think is organic, because they're telling you that's organic, right? And you're giving your baby poison. You're giving your baby cancer. That's what we got to deal with. Giving our babies cancer. It's funny, I was riding at West Philly. If you go off of 52nd Street, a little further down, right? They have a children's hospital, then they have a mental hospital, then they have a juvenile jail across the street. That's amazing. The message that they send to us in our community. So when you get out the hospital, you're going to go to a mental hospital, you're going to jail. Which one? Huh? And then you go to the supermarket, you try to get the best food that you think is the best food for your family, and they giving you poison, giving your kids cancer, ADHD, all different type of diseases. So you can take this medication. But people, it's on us. We got to start growing our own food, having mini gardens. Whatever we need to do to start surviving and stop going to these supermarkets getting this poisonous food. We need to have community gardens and start growing our own fruits and vegetables. This has been said many times and many years, and we need to get back to it. Because if we got to feed our baby arsenic drinks and, mercury-filled drinks, and come on. So your baby been eating lead-filled food since he was a day old, right? And then once he gets to 5 years old, 6 years old, and he starts the regular school and different things, and they wonder, why is he acting so crazy? And then they want to label him ADHD. And then they want to send him to jail. Or they want to 302 him. Give him medication. It's all a setup, people. I want to get into this article, though, from CNN. It says, leading baby food manufacturers knowingly sold products with high levels of toxic metals and congressional investigations found. 4 leading baby food manufacturers knowingly sold baby foods that contain high levels of toxic heavy metals, according to internal company documents, including a congressional investigation released Thursday. Dangerous levels of toxic metals like arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury exist in baby foods at levels that exceed what experts and governing bodies say are permissible, said Democratic Rep. Raja Krishnamurthy of Illinois, chair of the House Subcommittee on Economic and Consumer Policies, which conducted the investigation signed by Democratic members. Krishnamurthy said the spreadsheets provided by manufacturers are shocking because they show evidence that some baby foods contain hundreds of parts per billion of dangerous metals. Yet we know that in lots of cases, we should not have anything more than single digits parts per billion in any metal of our foods, he told CNN. Chemicals of concern for children. Arsenic and lead, cadmium, and mercury are in the World Health Organization top chemicals concerns for infants and children. As natural elements, they are in the soil which crops are grown and thus can't be avoided. Some crops field in regions, however, contain more toxic levels than others, partly due to the overuse of metal-containing pesticides and ongoing industrial pollution. There was a time where we used metals as predominant pesticides for many years, assuming it was safe, said Dr. Leonardo Trisandi, Chief of Environmental Pediatrics at NYU Langone. So there you have it, people. They telling you that they giving your baby poison. And we're buying poison out here and giving it to the babies unknowingly. The media is not doing enough to let people know. The FDA is not doing enough to let people know. The United States government is not letting enough people know. And they're not shutting these companies down. Know why? Because they're getting big kickbacks from these companies, the United States government. That's why. So if it's casualties in war, which they say, they don't care. If a few babies gotta die, they don't care. That's why they got abortion clinics out here. They don't care. So feed the babies lead. We don't care. Our babies don't eat Gerber. Our babies don't eat Beech Nut, Happy Baby, or Earth Best. Because they got farms. They grow their stuff. If you live in the city, the average person not growing anything. If we in the city, we got to start having our own community gardens. We got to start doing better with that. We can't be buying this poison. We got to start looking at labels, people. We can't just be eating anything. We got to start eating to live out here. Because we eating to die out here. I want to get into another subject. Check this clip out.
I want to bring us back to the point that you were making about exploiting consumer behavior in a consumer internet business. You said that this is a time for soul searching in social media businesses, and you were part of building the largest one. What soul searching are you doing right now on that?
I feel tremendous guilt. I think we all knew in the back of our minds, even though we feigned this whole line of like, there probably aren't any really bad unintended consequences. I think in the back, deep recesses of our minds, we kind of knew something bad could happen. But I think the way we defined it was not like this. It literally is a point now where I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. That is truly where we are. And I would encourage all of you, as the future leaders of the world, to really internalize how important this is. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. So we are in a really bad state of affairs right now, in my opinion. It is eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other. And I don't have a good solution. My solution is I just don't use these tools anymore. I haven't for years. It's created huge tension with my friends, huge tensions in my social circles. If you look at my Facebook feed, I've posted maybe 2 times in 7 years. 3 times, 5 times. It's less than 10. And it's weird. I guess I kind of just innately didn't want to get programmed. And so I just tuned it out.
That was a clip. That was from Shaman Palihapitiya. And he's a former executive at Facebook and venture capitalist. And he's talking about Facebook and he's talking about social media, period, and the effects on the brain and the effects on society. And if you look at how things been the last 20 years, society has changed drastically because of social media. People act different. You got rappers going to jail for different things. You got people robbing each other on social media, beefing with each other. I mean, all types of things. Women doing all types of things on social media. This is all social engineering. This is what he's trying to tell you. And dopamine is what sends, signals to the cells and helps you feel pleasure. So when you're getting different signals or you getting different pleasures from these social media apps, because they're playing with your mind, the algorithm. That's why if you don't get the likes or get the thumbs up, you feel a certain type of way. You can't stay off it. You got to keep looking at your phone. You got to keep looking at social media. These are all social engineering, people. I can remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when people didn't even want to have a cell phone. Didn't even want to text. Didn't want to take pictures. Now everyone texts. Everyone takes pictures. Social engineering. So we got to be mindful of how we use these tools. They're tools, not a part of our real life. People got to stop acting like these tools are part of your real life, especially in our community, because we're using them the incorrect way and they getting us either dead or in jail. But that's my show. Tune in for another episode of 100% Juice Podcast. And I'm your host, H-Rap Bay. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
Red caps, blue caps, niggas and knobs. Junkies in the hallways getting high. Jail can't hold us, ain't no time. Red caps, blue caps, niggas and knobs. Spend late nights high, trying to relax the mind. Gotta update my software, niggas got new kinds. These Northfield streets got me feeling the pressure. Hotter in the winter, white man fucking with the weather. Since the world coming to an end, I don't feel no depression. I just stay black and keep close to my weapon. Watching dead people searching for heaven. Can't get out your way, can't get out your hell. My dick hard, I'm taking the blue pill. Astral plane, ended up with a dirty home in Spain. Gets it pours when it rains. Hung around the same niggas who love selling cane. That's why you see most poor niggas searching for fame. Crackers call it a numbers game. Young girl got more kids than the Waynes. She said she don't know pain. Roach infested, 22 shells, a dirty package in the mail. Gentrification, the new oil well. They clean up the oil spill. Mass incarceration, the new overkill. Bourgeois niggas, love Bill Clinton, say he the black president ever since.